please help monitor the chat. Um, let's see if Josie is on. Josie is not on yet. George, help me monitor the chat, please. I mean the Q&A. All right, good deal. So I'm gonna turn my face off because I want you to be able to see all the slides without all this beautifulness interrupting you. Uh-oh, see, I done messed up already. I done stopped sharing. I'm supposed to be sharing. Hold on. Let me share again. Okay. Take 2. Turn off video. That's what I'm supposed to be doing. Okay. So some of you are currently on your journey to becoming a licensed enrolled agent, or you are getting ready to start it. And that's why you are here trying to get information on what you're supposed to do to pass this exam. First steps for a lot of people. Okay. So first things first, what is an EA? A lot of people, if you are not a tax professional and you say EA to someone, they probably think you're talking about an executive assistant. I learned that the hard way. So people that aren't in the tax profession, they aren't as familiar with enrolled agents as they should be. But if you are in the tax community, you know an EA is the highest credential that the IRS awards. You must pass all 3 parts of the SEE exam. You have to pass a suitability check, which will include the tax compliance, just to make sure that you have filed all the necessary tax returns and to make sure that there aren't any outstanding tax liabilities or criminal background. And I'll talk about what you need to do if you do have a tax liability or a criminal background. I'll touch on what you need to do. That still doesn't X you out though. So don't think because you owe the IRS or if you have a criminal background, don't think that you can't proceed on your EA journey. Individuals who obtain this elite status must adhere to ethical standards, and you have to complete 72 hours of continuing education courses every 3 years. No, I did not make a mistake. Yes, 72 hours. 72 hours, once you become a licensed enrolled agent, I promise you, you're going to get 72 plus hours per year. You should be, I know I get over 100 hours of continuing education every year. That's just how much training it takes to stay up to date with what's going on in the tax industry, especially right now with this new administration that just came in. There's a lot of changes to the tax code. This one big beautiful bill, the shutdown, like it's a lot that's going on right now. Enrolled agents, just like attorneys and CPAs, have unlimited practice rights. You also have to have a Prometric account and a P10. The P10 this year for the 2026 renewal period, either you have to obtain a new P10, or if you renew it, the cost is $18.75. And I am going to drop a link in the chat for everyone. If you have not renewed your P10 yet, or if you need to get a new P10, that is the link that you can use to get your P10. You're going to need that. In order to get a Prometric account, you have to have a P10. And we'll help you set up the Prometric account as well. So once you click on that link, this is where it should take you. This just tells you now, in order to get a P10 account, you have to have an ID.me account. If you are a tax professional, you should be familiar with what an ID.me is. If not, read through this once you click on that link. Once you get your ID Me, you can log in or either create an account for your P10. I also included this slide right here, and I'll drop this link in the chat as well. Some people are new to the tax industry and they don't know where to get started to even get a P10. So there is the link. Here's a checklist of everything you're going to need to be able to get a P10 and complete the P10 application. You're going to need your social security number, your personal information. Make sure that all the personal information that you use matches what was on your prior year tax return, such as your name, your mailing address, your date of birth. If you have a business, you can put your business information. And this tells you you're going to need the prior year's individual tax return. You're going to have to explain any felony convictions that you have. You have to explain why. Any problems that you have with your taxes, your individual or your business taxes, you have to explain those problems. And you're going to need a credit, debit, or ATM card to pay the $18.75 P10 user fee. This fee is non-refundable. And this is just saying that if you are a CPA, attorney, enrolled agent, enrolled retirement plan, enrolled actuary, a CPA, or state license, include your certification number, your jurisdiction of issuance, and the expiration date. Once you gather all that information, you'll be able to follow the steps to create your P10 account. So make sure you have all of this so you won't have an incomplete application when you start and have to start all over again. All right, suitability. Suitability is listed in the criminal convictions in the Circular 230. I will send you all a copy of the replay of this info session, and it'll include the Circular 230 attached to it. If you all aren't familiar with Circular 230, you should know Circular 230's rules and regulations behind like the back of your hand. If you have any overdue tax returns that has not been filed, you need to get those filed before you can become an enrolled agent. Now, there is controversy always around the topic of you can or you can't have any unpaid taxes. So it says if you have any unpaid taxes, unless you have an acceptable payment plan arrangements in place, you'll be fine. I can vouch for that because when I became an enrolled agent, I had a very large balance that I owed to the IRS. And that's one of the reasons that motivated me to become a licensed enrolled agent, because I had my own issues and I had to learn how to represent myself. I'll share that with you later on. I don't have time today, but I had to get in a settlement program and I was able to proceed with my application. Suitability check, you have to pass the suitability check. In general, any criminal offense that's resulting in a felony conviction under the federal tax laws or a felony conviction that's related to dishonesty, breach of trust, and it has to be less than 10 years old. Now, if you have anything related to dishonesty, breach of trust, or fraud, I would definitely recommend you calling the number that's on the screen just to make sure that you don't go through this entire process and it turns out that you don't even qualify to become a licensed enrolled agent. But that is also in Circular 230. It provides a better explanation of the suitability requirements. So I'll make sure that I include that in the email with the replay links. I'm also going to put in the chat a updated toll-free number to call Their hours are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. through 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you have any questions and the number on the slide doesn't work, call that number that I just put in the chat for you. Okay, so to set up your Prometric and your P10 account, as I stated, you have to have a P10 in order to get a Prometric account. Once you go ahead and set up your Prometric account, please do not schedule your exam yet. I know some of you probably have already been studying, and unless you know that you're going to meet the February 28th test window for this testing period, I would just wait until next testing period to start scheduling those exams. And we'll teach you how to know when you're ready to take the exam. When do you know you're ready? We'll help you determine that. The fees increased to $267 per exam, and it is non-refundable. Listen, I was you once upon a time. I was excited, ready to take the exam. I thought that I was holding myself accountable by studying and setting myself a date to take the exam, right? So I would schedule the exam before I even knew I was ready. Well, that didn't work out very good for me because time the exam date came around, I wasn't ready. And I told them people everything under the moon. I had all kinds of excuses so that I could get my money back, but I never got my money back. So, and I'm not exaggerating. I paid, I wasted thousands of dollars just scheduling the exam because life happens and you don't have a real excuse unless somebody died. And I really did have a death in the family, and I had to show them an obituary, y'all. I had to show them the obituary, and I had to show something else. What, I don't know if it was something out of the newspaper, but it was something. It has to be sound proof, good proof. I was credited. I still didn't get a refund. I was credited for that exam fee, but it is extreme. So just avoid all of that. Don't be crazy like me and waste money trying to schedule an exam when you know you're not ready yet. Okay, I like this visual because it kind of helps you understand the difference between an EA CPA attorney and the tax preparer. So an enrolled agent right here is licensed by the federal government. A CPA is not, an attorney is not, and a tax preparer is not. A enrolled agent must pass a comprehensive tax exam. A CPA don't, attorney don't, tax preparer don't. An enrolled agent, CPA, and attorney does have full representation rights before the IRS. But if you're not an EPA, CPA, or an attorney, you don't. Specialization in taxes. An enrolled agent specializes in taxes. CPAs does not, and unless you are a tax attorney, attorneys don't, neither does tax preparers. So this little visual should help you see the power that enrolled agents have. And I do want you all to know that we are a big deal. All of this exam is not an easy exam. So you'll understand it once you get those letters behind your name. Okay, the EA exam. So the examination is 3.5 hours. However, the examination will give you 4 hours to allow time for the pre-exam tutorial and the post-exam customer satisfaction survey that you have to take. And you have to take that survey before it tells you if you pass or not, unless it changed. I was just marking stuff. I was like, oh, I don't want to have to answer all these questions. Just show me what I damn made. Did I pass or not? Unfortunately, you have to go through all of that before it shows you your score, unless something have changed. You have to have a valid and original and an unexpired form of identification before you can test. That is a driver's license, a passport, a state issue identification card, or a military ID. Each part contains 100 multiple choice questions, and that's for all three parts. There are three parts. If you're not aware, there's part 1, part 2, and part 3. There are 85 questions that are on this test that are scored, and the other 15 questions are experimental and they're not scored. Unfortunately, you will not know which questions are the experimental questions, and you won't know which ones are not scored. I kind of knew because it didn't make sense to me at all. I was like, this got to be one of those experimental questions, but I still did my best and did the process of elimination because it probably was, but it probably wasn't. So you don't know. So just make sure you do that process of elimination that will teach you, and answer each question to the best of your knowledge. The exam length is 3.5 hours, and that does not include the pre-examination tutorial or the post-examination survey. There will be an on-screen timer that will be provided, and it'll show you the time that you have remaining while you're taking the exam. We'll also teach you how to kind of time when you're taking the test. You only should spend a certain amount of time on each question. I don't have time to go over all of that today, but you will learn that. What the exam covers. Now, in the past, all exams have covered the Internal Revenue Code, the Code of Federal Regulations, IRS forms and publications, and the IRS forms instructions. Depending on the year that you take the exam, there will be more items that they will use to test. Last year, they tested on the American Rescue Plan Act, the Inflation Reduction Act, the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, the Further Consolidated Appropriations Act, the CARES Act, and the Secure 2.0 Act. Now, we do not know if next testing period will cover the One Big Beautiful Bill Act and a lot of other items that has been new to the tax industry. And we won't know that until probably around spring of 2026 or before spring of 2026. And we'll get with you all and let you know, of course, exactly what the next testing period, what will be covered on the next testing period. Okay, I'm gonna go over the questions, the different type of questions, and some of the items that you'll more than likely see on the exam. Before I go on to the next portion, do I have any questions? I don't see any questions in the Q&A. No questions? Okay, perfect. George, okay. You monitoring hold on, I do have questions. Okay, these are all just comments. Thank you, Lynette. Lynette says she liked my enroll agent pen. Josie is on, everyone. You will meet her at the end of the webinar. That's our tax attorney. Okay, no, there's not a separate link. All right, so part one. Part one is either everyone's second favorite or first favorite. I guess it just depends on where you are in your tax career. Part 1 is the individual part. And on that examination, you have 14 questions on preliminary work and taxpayer data. You have 17 questions on income and assets, 17 questions on deductions and credits, 15 questions on taxation, 11 questions on advising the individual taxpayer, and another 11 questions on specialized returns for individuals. This is how it has been for the longest. We don't know if there are going to be any changes on the next cycle or not. We won't know that until early spring of next year or right before spring. What you see on the screen is a very, very tiny snippet of what you're going to have to learn to be able to pass part 1. Unfortunately, you can't learn some of this and not all because you don't know what's all going to be on your exam. And you and anybody else will not have the same exam. So if you take the exam 3 times and you go back that 4th and last time for that part and think that you are probably going to get one of the last tests that you have, you won't. So that's why this exam is so hard, because you literally have to learn so much. You have to know all the tax laws, all of them. But we'll help you with learn what you need to learn in our program. So at the top, you see the preliminary work and taxpayer data, the 14 questions. On those 14 questions, it asks questions about the use of the prior year's returns for accuracy, the taxpayer personal information, the filing requirements, the residency status, the sources of worldwide income, foreign account, ACA requirements. Most of all it is going to be on the 14 questions for the preliminary work. For the 17 questions, the income and assets, this is a challenging portion because it's a lot on income. You have to know the distributions for the retirement accounts, the 1099s, the 1099K, the pass-through income, the passive income and loss, the dividends, the gambling income. You have to learn all of that to be able to pass the income and assets part on part 1. On part 2, businesses, there are 100 questions, and remember, only 85 are scored. There are 30 questions on business entities and considerations, 37 questions on business tax preparation, and 18 questions on specialized returns and taxpayers. This part is the most challenging for everyone, especially if you aren't doing a lot of corporation returns. Is probably going to be even more challenging for you, especially the retirements and the bases. This is a very tiny snippet of what you're going to have to learn. The business tax preparation has 37 questions. You're talking about the income, the gross income, the cost of goods, cancellation of business debt, officers and employees compensation, business rentals, depreciation, business travel. Come over here to the analysis of the financial records. That's what your depreciation, your balance sheets, your income statements, trust and estate income tax. There is a lot that you have to learn on part 2. And that's why this is normally the hardest part for everyone. Part 3 is said to be the easiest for everyone. So people either choose part 3 or part 1 as the easiest. I say part 3 is the easiest because I do representation, so I know representation like the back of my hand. But again, depending on where you are in your tax career, that'll be based off of that. Part 3 also has 100 questions. Only 85 are scored. There are 26 questions on practices and procedures, 25 questions on representation before the IRS, 20 questions on specific areas of representation, and 14 questions on the filing process. This is also a tiny snippet of what you're going to have to learn to pass part 3. You have to know practice and procedure. You have to know what constitutes practice before the IRS, the requirements for an enrolled agent. You have to know about due diligence, conflict of interest, the penalties and the rules, representation. You have to learn how to answer the power of attorney questions. Part 3 is real easy. If I had to pick, like I said, I would say part 3 is the easiest, and that's the part that everyone normally takes first. So here is an example of what the questions look like, the question formats. So the questions on your examination are all multiple choice. There are no longer any true or false questions. It used to be. This testing cycle did not have it, neither did mine. I don't know if it's going to be on the next exam testing cycle, but we will let you know once all of those details are released. I already informed you that no one gets the same exam. I had made myself a note to make sure I tell you that. So here are the 3 different multiple choice formats. The first format is a direct question. A direct question is, which of the following entities are required to file Form 709, the United States gift tax return? That's a direct question. A, B, C, or D. The second format is an incomplete sentence. An example is supplemental wages are compensation paid in addition to an employee's regular wages. They do not include payments for blank. That's an incomplete sentence. So you would choose, they do not include. Do not in this sentence is your key word. Don't start going through and just marking your answer and you skip the word do not. It's asking you which one do not. It will teach you how to answer and pay attention to keywords in each question as well. The third format is the all of the following except. An example, there are 5 tests which must be met for a child to be a qualifying child. Which of the following is not a requirement? So this one is which one does not belong. Keyword, not. So these are all the question formats that you'll see listed on your exam. Let's see, I have a question. Is the program virtually or in person? I'm gonna go over that in a second. It's hybrid, it's both virtual and in person. Let's see if I have any more questions. No more questions. Okay, you can either put your question in the Q&A or you can chat it to me in the chat. I'm monitoring both. All right, so the day of the test day, oh my gosh, I was nervous. Anxiety was through the roof. I studied all the way up until I walked inside to sign in. The SEE exam, SEE, if you don't know, that means the special enrollment exam. It's not called the EA exam. The real name is the SEE exam, but we all just call it the EA exam. It includes one 15-minute scheduled break. The exam clock stops after you have answered the first 50 questions. So you'll answer questions 1 through 50, and then the first section of the test will be complete. You will not have a break if you choose not to take your break after the first section is submitted. If you decline that break, you can continue testing, but the break will not be offered again. Even if you don't have to use the restroom or take a break or take a sip of water, I would highly recommend at least getting up, going for a short walk, drink some water, and just try to use it. It just relax. Take the break. It's 15 minutes and the clock stops. So take it. I highly recommend taking the break. It is not an open book test. Of course, there is a closed book. It's a closed book test. You'll have an on-screen calculator during the examination, and you'll also have a handheld calculator. They'll give you scratch paper and pencil, and you'll have a 15-minute break. Now, when I went to one of the testing centers here where I live, they told me that they were not supposed to give me scratch paper. I knew 100% without a doubt that they had to give me scratch paper. So we argued, and I didn't want to do it, but I needed my damn scratch paper. Number one, I needed to do a dump, and we'll teach you how to dump in our program. But that's how I knew 100% that they had to give me scratch paper. I was like, ma'am, listen, I got a lot of shit in my mind, in my brain right now that I'm trying to remember. Call whoever you need to call. I need my scratch paper. So I don't know who she ended up calling, but she told me, you're right. I'm sorry for any confusion. Here's your scratch paper. So make sure that they do not tell you aren't supposed to get scratch paper, because you are. They have to give you scratch paper, calculator, and the pencil. When I was taking the exam, we were not allowed to bring water inside the testing room. That changed this testing period. Now you are allowed to bring a bottle of water in the test room. Another thing, I had on a hat. I love hats. Anybody that knows me knows I love hats. And I like my hats. So I had on a hat and I had on a sweater. They told me that I had to remove my hat. My hair was not done. So I was in the testing center looking like buckwheat by the head, because I did not know that they did not allow you to wear caps. So I had to remove my hat. And I was also told if I wanted to keep my blazer or my sweater on, that you have to keep it on. Once you get in the testing center, you cannot take it off. So if you are cold nature, you probably want to keep it on. If you are premenopausal like I am, you probably want to keep it off, because I would rather be cold than hot. So remember those key items so it won't be any confusion there. I never understood why they scan you before you enter the test room. And I always say this, if I was going to cheat, I can't write on metal. So why are you wanding me with a metal detector? A piece of paper, this metal detector is not going to go off if I got some paper hidden in my bra or anywhere else. So I can't explain to you why they do an airport scan with the wand, but they do. Hats and coats are not permitted. You are monitored by video. Another thing that I love about our new program that we're getting ready to launch is after each session, we have 2 virtual sessions with you per week. And at the end of each session, you do your quizzes, and it's monitored by an instructor to make sure that you master that section of the material. So I'm in love with our new platform. You are required to sign out on the test center roster each time you leave the test room. So if you have issues and you have to go to the bathroom more than a norm, I highly recommend you informing them that before you enter the testing room, because they do type notes. And if they think that you are going to the bathroom too much, they will write notes to the IRS letting them know that you probably cheated on the exam. So this fully disclose any issues that you have that will cause you to go back and forth out of the testing center. Passing score. You have to have a 105 to pass. The scale scores are determined by calculating the number of questions that you answer correctly from the total number of questions that's in the examination, and it converts to a scale that ranges from 40 to 130. If you fail, your score report will show a scale score between 40 and 104, and I'll talk about that in a minute. You'll also receive a diagnostic information sheet. I love the sheet because it assists you and it kind of breaks down your weak areas. Um, your weak area is the number one, your marginal area is number two, and your strong area is three. If you are one, that kind of means that you need to regroup. You either need to purchase a study program, join a study group, and it is important for you to focus on those areas that it shows you a one as you prepare to take the test again. So like I said, you might want to consider taking a course or participating actively in a study group on those topics that you're weak in. If you get a two, you may need additional study in this area, or you probably just need to regroup and relax a little bit when you retake it. I think that was my problem on part two. If you get a three, that means that you clearly demonstrated an understanding of this subject, and that's a strong area for you. If you fail the examination, you have to wait 24 hours before you can reschedule to retest on the examination part. I know because that happened to me, and here is why. So, these are my real scores. For anybody that says it is not possible to fail this exam by 1 point, they are telling you a LIE. When I first took part two, I failed by 1 freaking point. Oh my gosh. Very short story. So, normally when you pass or fail after you take the exam and go through the survey, you see your score on the screen. Well, they were making some type of changes the summer that I took my exam. And so everyone that took the exam that summer, we had to wait an additional 4 to 6 weeks before we received our score. So I did not receive my score until later. I forgot which part. I think that was on part. Yeah, that was on part two. That was on part two. So, you all are lucky because you don't have to be like me. You do have to cancel your hot girl and your hot boy summer, and we'll talk about that in the program. But I couldn't even after I took the exam because I didn't know if I had passed the exam or not. So I had to continue studying. So of course I went back and I passed it with flying colors. I'm going to show you a video, a quick video, and just let me know if you can hear it or not. If you can't hear it, just look at it. And I promise you, this is how everyone feels after they finally pass the exam, because now you're going to get your life back. It's a relief. Here we go.
Hey, so gosh, I am so happy right now. You guys have no idea. So, gosh, I look a hot mess, right? So, uh, you know, hi, my name is Lysandra, and I am a hot, ridiculous mess right now. But yeah, so I have, if you haven't watched any of my live broadcasts before, I've been studying to become an enrolled agent with the IRS, and I took part two of the exam today. There's 3 parts. So I passed part one a few months ago, but part two is the hardest. It has to do with, the businesses and corporate taxes and all of that stuff. And I just took the test and I passed. And I'm so excited.
So this is how we all feel after we take and pass the exam. I went straight to the cemetery after I passed part two because my mom is no longer with me. So it is I can't even explain the feeling. You got to experience. So I'm excited that you all have a community of people now that you can reach out to and share your good news with, because the people in your family or the people that are in your circle, they probably won't understand how big of a deal it is when you pass all three parts, but we get it. So that's one of the reasons why we created this community of tax professionals to uplift, motivate, and celebrate with each other. Um, every year, starting in March, is normally the first week in March, we have a free masterclass for all tax professionals that think they want to become an enrolled agent. I say think because it is a lot of work, it's a lot of studying, and it's a lot of commitment. You may get in this master class and you decide, you know what? I don't think this is for me. I no longer want to become an enrolled agent. Or, you know what? This is it. I want to do it. You fall in love with it. You fall in love with studying. You fall in love with learning tax law, and you become a member of our community. Um, Before I move on and talk about our program that people are bombarding me with questions about, give me 1 second, y'all. I'm gonna tell you about our program. Do I have any questions about anything that I've just covered about the exam or anything else? Any questions? What kind of material do the program provide? So I'm going to go over that in 1 second. Okay, I don't see any questions. All right. So we have launched a 8-month comprehensive exam prep. And I shared with you why at the beginning of the webinar. If you weren't on when you get the replay link, go back and watch it. What I'm gonna go over, what do it take to join? All right, give me a second. Is the program virtual or in person? It's hybrid. Before I share all the details on the program, I want you all to guess where next year's in-person event is going to be. So the first year we had the EA boot camp, we had it in Vegas. This year we had it in Atlanta. And next year, I want you all to take a wild guess where we're going to have it at. I cannot wait. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. Tennessee, New Orleans, Texas, another New Orleans, a third New Orleans. Ooh, what y'all got going on with New Orleans? I don't like New Orleans. Ooh, y'all probably gonna kill me for that, but I don't. I don't like New Orleans. I don't. I've been a few times and I didn't like it. Florida, New York, California. Ooh, I love California. I love Florida. Oh, Teresa says she's from Louisiana. Yeah, girl, I don't know. I can't dig New Orleans. I don't know what it is. My property where I stayed was beautiful, but it wasn't a lot to do and it stank. And I don't know. I just didn't like it. Okay, so nobody got it yet. I'm gonna share a few pictures and I'll see who knows this property. Let's see who travels like I do. Let me see who travels and who knows. Instructors, you are not allowed to play. This is a part of the property. I'm gonna show you some more pictures. This is the lobby restaurant area. It's very cozy. Chicago. Oh, I love Chicago, Tanya, but it's not Chicago. This is what the room, one of the rooms look like. It's a retreat. I will give you a hint. It's a retreat. This is the pool area. Let me see if anybody guessed it yet. Ooh, y'all, I know San Diego. I love San Diego and Utah. It's not in San Diego or Utah. Cancun. No, not Cancun. Okay. I'm gonna go through these pictures fast because uh 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 ta-da! Who knows this building? Come on now. I know somebody on here has been to this resort before. I know some of y'all have been to this resort before. Jamaica, no, not Jamaica. Here we are. The 2026 EA Mastery Retreat will be held at Chateau Elan in North Georgia. When I tell y'all, I am so excited. The property is so freaking beautiful. There's a winery. Me and my husband, we just attended the wine festival that they had over the weekend. So this is where it's going to be. Now let me go back through the pictures for you all so you can see where you're going to be staying at. This is the lobby restaurant. Like I said, these are the rooms, and we have some really good rates on the rooms. This is an outside area. That's one of the bars. This is the actual winery. That's one of the restaurants. The waterfall lady. That's what I call her, the waterfall lady. So if you love wine, or if you just love a good getaway or a good retreat, this is definitely for you. So we'll talk more about the event location on another webinar once we start doing the master classes, but the dates are August 17th through the 19th. You need to check in August 16th and check out August 20th. So before I go over our program and introduce you to our instructors, I want you to meet our instructors. So this is me, of course. Let me turn my camera back on. This is me. Hey, I'm Melinda, also known as the Queen of Taxes. The sessions that I'll be presenting is the income section in part 1, the taxes in part 1, the filing considerations and the specialized returns in part 1. Part 2, I'll be presenting the business property and the specialized return as well. And for part 3, I'll of course be presenting the representation before the IRS part. Give me a second and I'll tell you all everything that's included in our program, and we'll give you the prices and we'll give you the discounted prices. Give me about 4 more minutes of your time and I'll share that information with you. George, are you on? Are you able to turn your camera on so everyone can see you? I don't even know if it's names. George, are you still on? Oh, Josie said they have to be panelists. Okay. This is my first time using the webinar portion. Let me see if I can Mm-mm-mm. I don't know how to make you a host. Okay, so I'll just show you all the instructors' pictures. I'm sorry, I didn't know we were gonna need a a separate link for the instructors, but you all will meet them way before we start our master classes. This is George. George is a licensed enroll agent, and he's the owner of Elite 8 Tax and Financial Services. George will be presenting part one, taxpayers independence, income exclusions, adjustments to income, deductions from adjusted income, business taxation, and practice before the IRS. Our tax attorney, Josie, is also on. I hate that you all can't meet them via video today, but our tax attorney is Josie Harris Walton, and she will be covering credits part one, part two, business entities, and part three, preparing returns, and of course, tax law. Lysandra is a licensed enrolled agent. She's also known as the home biz lady. She'll be covering gains and losses in part one, corporations in part two, partnerships in part two, and retirement plans in part two. This is our Las Vegas crew, and our Georgia crew. As you can see, we are growing, and I want you to see. This was from last year. She's now a licensed enroll agent. She's now a licensed enroll agent. Those are just two samples. Now let's get into what's included in our program. We got 5 minutes left. All right. So the EA Exam Institute, let me turn it off. The EA Exam Institute is a mastery program for tax professionals that are building their path to the top 1%. I'm not going to read all of this, but in short, we don't just teach taxes, we create leaders. This is a comprehensive 8-month professional transformation designed for ambitious tax professionals who want to rise into the top 1% of the industry. We have national experts. All of our instructors are licensed. We are seeking more licensed instructors. Our program is also an approved IRS CE provider, and of course is tax deductible. What's included in our program? We use Fast Forward Academy materials. Our program starts in May, at the end of May. We will no longer just meet in person. We, of course, now is 8 months. So we will meet twice per week, and our sessions will be 2 hours each. So you'll have the first hour, we'll do our presentation, and the second hour, we all will do a quiz to make sure that you master each session. You will have interactive review quizzes and exam simulations. We'll assist you with your P10 and Prometric setup accounts. If you don't already have it, you'll have access to the class recordings in a study portal. And we will allow you 2 weeks to break between each period. We're no longer sending you out there to study on your own. We will pass the exam with you. We make sure that you're ready to take the test. We cheer you on, and hopefully everybody that enrolls will all pass part one the first try at the same time, and then we'll move on to the next part. You'll have access to the private EA Mastery Network. You'll get CE credits. You'll be able to attend the 3-day in-person mastery event at Chateau Elan. You'll be able to attend the day 3, the tax figures. We'll talk more about that on another training. You'll get exclusive access to the tax vault trainings. All of this is valued at $33,000. Now, your investment is for the 8-month program, $7,995. If you don't want to pay that up front, you can split it into 6 monthly payments of $14.95. Keep in mind that this is not an expense for you. This is an investment, and you can write it off on your taxes. That is for someone that doesn't need additional accountability. We do have a VIP track. It includes everything that's in the regular track, but you'll also get one-on-one strategy sessions where you get personal coaching and accountability with the instructor of your choice. That's valued at $2,500. You'll have access to a private accountability pod. The max right now is 5 people, but I think we are going to extend that to more participants once we get more instructors. That's valued at $1,000. You get priority instructor access. You get exclusive VIP labs. You get access to the career development and business growth coaching. We'll show you how to earn money while you're learning. You get lifetime access to the updated materials even after you pass the exam. There's the learn while you earn. We'll teach you how to get your investment back even before you pass the exam. You also get a 3-day pass at the in-person event at Chateau Elan, the day 3, the tax figures event, and you have exclusive access to the tax vault training. It'll either be a complimentary training for you, or it'll be heavily discounted. The total program cost for that 8-month VIP track, the value is $41,000, but you are only charged $9,095. Or you can split it in 6 monthly payments of $1,895. It's also a tax write-off. Now, for those of you that want to sign up and you only want to do the in-person session because you've already passed part 1, you can do the part 2 only in-person session. That cost is valued at $4,000, but it's only $2,700. You get access to the day 3. You get the 3-day in-person event, which will be a deep dive on part 2, and you get a catered lunch. And I think I forgot to tell you the catered lunch is for all 3 levels. The location again is Chateau Elan Winery and Resort in Georgia. Chateau is the South's most prestigious winery and luxury training destination in the South. If you enroll today, you will get not $200 off, but you'll get $500 off. If you have a team that you want to enroll, we'll give you a $300 discount per seat. And if you have a corporation and you want us to train your whole company, we can customize those costs for you. Now, again, here are the tracks. $74.95 if you sign up today for the regular mastery track. You get $500 off, not $200. $500 off the regular track. You get $500 off the VIP track. That takes that down to $94.95. And you get $200 off the in-person session only, which will be $2,500. Let me see if I have. When will the program start? The program will start at the end of May. We don't have that exact date yet. We'll have that exact date by the either the end of December or early January. We'll try to find out what is going to be on the exam this year, what study materials that we're going to be using this year. What days and times are the trainings? The times are 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Tuesdays and Thursdays, Eastern Standard Time. Let me see if I have any more questions. When will it start? The end of May. If you didn't hear that, when will it start? When do you pay? Okay, so if you want to get the $500 off, we're gonna send out a link for each attendee that attended to date only. You'll have a customized link to pay. You'll be able to either sign up for the 6-month payment plan. You'll have an option to do 3 payments, or if you want to pay it all up front. Now, let me be clear about this. The only way you can get the $500 off is if you sign up by Friday. You do not have to pay it all up front to get the $500 off. I'm gonna say that again. You have until this Friday, which is tomorrow by midnight. You have to select in your email, you have to select which option you want to go with, and you'll get the $500 off. If you sign up Saturday morning at 6 a.m., you will not get the $500 off. You'll still be able to join the program. Right now, we moved the VIP mastery track from 5 to 10. So right now, we only have 10 VIPs, only because the VIP, it includes a lot more, and it's going to require a lot of one-on-one sessions or smaller sessions in the VIP group. It's just a lot more that we offer for the VIP. So we can't have a whole lot of people in the VIP. So if you know you want that VIP, you better go on and put your deposit down for it today. All the details that you need to know to pay will be in the email along with the replay that I'll send out within the next few hours. Whenever this session is available for download, I'll upload it and send it to you all along with the payment links. When is the deadline to pay? Okay, the deadline to pay is Friday by midnight to get the discount. All the payment details will be in your email. If you are serious about becoming an enrolled agent and you know you need an accountability partners, you know you want somebody, you need somebody to stay on top of you. If you lose focus real fast, if you have a lot going on and you know you're gonna need somebody to hold your hand, please sign up for the VIP Mastery. Do not sign up for the regular track. The regular track is for people that probably already have been studying. They kind of ready to pass, but they want to go through a comprehensive program. But for the past 2 years, all of our students needed the VIP mastery track. That's how a lot of people are falling off, because they lose motivation and life happens and they don't know how to pick back up and where to start from. Okay, we are 8 minutes over. I'm checking my questions and answers to make sure I don't miss anything. If you have any questions, please list those questions in the chat for me, or you can reply to the email that you'll receive with the replay. Josie and George, y'all want to type something in the chat? I hate that. Let me turn my camera back on. I'm sorry, I did not know that you had to have a separate link. Let's see. being from California, will we be paired with someone who can accommodate the time difference? No. So time difference, we always have someone on the West Coast every year. Baby, you gotta sacrifice. You have to sacrifice this program and any other program when you're trying to better yourself. There are sacrifices that you have to make. And that is one of them, time. So no, the timing will not be accommodated. You have to get on the East Coast time. That's where all of our instructors are on the East Coast. Oh, if you sign up for the VIP. So if you sign up for a VIP, there aren't any specific times on the one-on-one sessions, but the structure time, like the presentations, the weekly presentations, you're still in class with everyone else. But if you need some extra help, for instance, if you don't really understand basis and you need some additional help with basis outside of the regular class, then you and I, or you and whatever instructor that you choose, or instructor that I think will be best to help you with basis, you'll schedule a time that works for both of you. So you'll have your private one-on-one sessions. So yes, your one-on-ones will be accommodated for you. Josie says, hello, everyone. I cannot wait to see you. I can't